This full moon is bringing our attention to extremely unexpected places, and things are starting to get serious. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Leeor Alexandra. Welcome to the B community. On this channel, we talk about spirituality, personal development, and a couple times a month, I like to offer these energy readings to help you navigate the cosmic offerings more gracefully. As always, take what resonates and leaves what doesn't. In today's reading, it's for the upcoming full moon in Virgo on February 24th, 2024, which is exact at 4:30 a.m. Pacific time. In this energy reading, I'm going to talk about the energy that's being offered to us. I'm going to give you some themes that have come up intuitively. You know, I blend astrology with intuition and oracle card pullings. I'm going to pull a card for you. I'm going to give you some journaling prompts to get the most out of this energy. We're going to talk about what's encouraged right now, what to be mindful of. You're going to get a very thorough reading. This Virgo full moon has a sort of serious and kind of grave energy to it. It's very Saturnian, but also mercurial. Like, we're getting serious about the small details, maybe about our commitments, right? I actually chose to get married under this full moon for many reasons. I consulted with my astrologer, Galit. We both feel that getting married as the moon is coming into wholeness and completion is really a great time for union. So that was very intentional. Also, in the Hebrew calendar, we are currently in the month of Adar, which is the month of joy. And this year we actually have 2 months of Adar. It's Adar 1 and Adar 2. In Judaism, when something is doubled and good, such as Tuesday, right? God saw that Tuesday was good twice. This cancels out bad. It cancels out negativity. So while this full moon feels very serious, I also see it as a very positive time, very expansive time, especially with the influence of Jupiter. But just real quick, a big shout out to today's sponsor, me. I don't know if you've noticed, but I basically stopped accepting almost all sponsorships, and that's only been made possible because of my audience's support of my jewelry line, Alchemy by LA. So if you're not already familiar with my jewelry, I make these little pieces of art which are embossed with the Hebrew codes of creation, the 72 names of God, the Creator, the Divine Beloved. These amulets are meant to enhance the will of the wearer. What you ask for as you put them on and wear them will be amplified. And the Creator gave us these codes, and our intention will be brought into fruition, into manifestation, into physicality. And this is because putting on the amulet creates a segula, a ritual object that anchors your energy and your intention. So these amulets are meant to deflect any sort of negative energy aimed at you, any sort of evil eye, while also taking in and amplifying any positive energy, kind of like the sword of God, your Gryffindor. And the way you use your amulet is that you choose one that most closely aligns with where you're at in your life right now, whether it be maybe you need some wealth or happiness or love or health, balance, peace of mind, fertility, creativity, a boost or a reorientation of your energy. And then you choose if you want it in a mini or the original size. Maybe you want some earrings, and then you choose the element that you want it in. We have sterling silver dipped in a thick 18 karat solid gold. And we also have solid gold, which becomes an heirloom. You can pass this on to your children and your grandchildren. It's an amazing gift. When you get it, you set your intention as you put your necklace on. It carries your intention, it empowers you, and it deflects evil eye and negative energy away from you. Thank you for your support, and because I am sponsoring today's video, I want to give you a 15% off discount on your entire order, even solid gold. Just use the code LOVEYOU. I'll have the link down in the description. This promotion is going for the rest of the month of February because Adar is such a good month, and we often sell out of stock before our promotions end. So if you've been wanting an amulet, right now is a really good time to get it. Thank you so much for supporting women-owned spiritual businesses and allowing me to not have to work around sponsorship terms all the time. I appreciate you so much. Here's to many more years of creating meaningful jewelry that changes people's lives and energy. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and please turn your post notifications on, because I am trying to get to a higher percentage of you who are getting notified whenever I post these readings so that you don't miss out on the energy readings. So let me know in the comments if you subscribed today, if you turned your post notifications on today, and let's talk. It's been a while. So, as many of us know by now, full moons are times of things coming into completion and wholeness. And the moon's increased light illuminates the whole picture. Things that we may not have seen before suddenly are out in the open. The full moon is also the time to reap what we've sown and to enjoy the fruits of our labor, almost to kind of receive our just reward. So whatever we did plant around the new moon, around the dark moon, we might begin to see it blooming in our lives as the full moon comes into fullness, into completion. The full moon is also a time of highly charged emotions. It's an emotional time that allows us to feel the full range of human emotions that are available to us, and that point our attention to our triggers, to our shadows, to things that have been wanting to come up, to be seen, to be processed. So if you're in a healing journey, if you're in a self-growth journey, the full moon is your best friend. The moon itself is your best friend because it reflects to you all month long different dips and raises in your energy. When we're extra sensitive and we have the full moon's light illuminate the depths of our mind, it brings out our shadows. Our shadows come out to play. And as long as we can become aware of them and we can work to process and to integrate them, we can heal through them. This is such a powerful time for healing. This particular full moon is a really good time to make any sort of lifestyle adjustment that you've been thinking about making, especially the kind that might grow your self-growth. So that might foster more personal growth. These changes that you're making might not show up for you right away because this is a practice. And that's what this full moon is telling us to do. It's saying, make these small, meticulous decisions because they're going to lead up to really big changes. Like I always like to say, little by little and then all at once. So just imagine a drop of water wearing away at a rock. That's what we're doing here. We keep moving forward and 1% better every day. The light of the full moon is going to bring your attention to the areas in your life that require some clarity, some organization, and some improvements, especially any sort of practical everyday improvements. Let's say in your health and your daily routine. Whatever changes you make around this full moon for your well-being, they have the potentiality of greatly improving your life and your health and happiness in the long term. So start to think about what areas in your life you are wanting to improve and wanting to expand, and what sort of practical steps you can do that. For example, if you have been wanting to improve your health and maybe improve your eating habits, so you reflect on them. What do I do that I don't like around my eating habits right now? Well, I don't like that I eat mindlessly or that I eat in front of the TV. I don't like that I eat late at night or whatever it is, right? I'd like to eat some more nutrient-dense foods, to incorporate more vegetables and fruit into my diet. So maybe you start to sit down and think, well, how can I practically do this? You might want to start exercising. So maybe you consider adding a daily walk or adding a yoga practice. Or maybe it's time to start meditation. Whatever you add into your life for your well-being around this time, it's going to really benefit you. But just remember, this is not instant gratification. This is a change that comes all at once when you work at it little by little. Now, on the grand scale for the collective, the world stage, full moons illuminate what was previously hidden. This is going to come in a big way, this full moon. Something is being revealed on a very big scale. We're receiving some information, and it's something to do with how we've done things in the past, potentially involving government or societal structure in some way. The news that we receive is likely going to be very serious. Even talking about it right now, have chills. It's going to cause a wake-up call for a lot of us, and it's going to come in the form of hard, cold facts. There is no interpretation of this. There's no other way of looking at it. This is what we're getting, except take it, okay? It's data without analysis. Here is what's happening. So let's see how that plays out. That's gonna be interesting. There may also be some sort of issues related to water coming up. The issues related to water might cause a need to organize to help people who are affected by the issue. Let's see how that shows up as well. Hopefully it's something that we can organize as a collective and make a big difference and a big change. Also, of course, I'm always the optimist. I feel that we're going to begin to see and experience a softening of the collective energy, likely beginning right around the full moon, maybe after, as the full moon begins to wane. I haven't seen this in the last few months. There's been a lot of very combative and defensive communication and energy, people not listening to one another, nor wanting to listen or understand each other, just kind of talking to hear ourselves talk. But I think that we're going to start to see that change. The collective energy might be softening with Pisces season. We might experience more empathy and a desire to find common ground to understand one another, especially when it comes to understanding our shared human experience. And this is showing up in the form of our consciousness expanding, almost as if we are becoming more mature with time and with information, maybe the information we're about to receive. So this empathy is a very emotional thing, but it's almost going to come from a very rational place, if that makes sense. So I guess we'll see how that plays out. Like, let's say we receive this information, and this information, we process it and influences us to be more empathetic. So the tone or the mood for the collective energy might soften in the days specifically following the full moon, which is good news for the most sensitive about us, because we've been dealing with absolute misery with our hearts for the last few months. Our attention is going to definitely remain on social movements, on revolutions, on conflicts. Aquarius energy isn't going anywhere. We're in the age of revolution, revolutionizing society. I just want to urge each one of us and myself to remember that the revolution begins inside each one of us. And we have to choose our spiritual journey in our heart again and again, so that we're not overtaken by the ego and by mass opinion. A few themes for this full moon. The first one is to let go and have faith, because there may be some challenges that are coming up for you in your life right now. You might already be experiencing them. You've been having sort of anxiety over them. You're trying to figure out how to fix and how to put everything into neat little boxes. It feels chaotic, but I want you to think about what these things are and consider if you have any control over them. If you do whatever you can. If you don't, then think about what you do have control over right now. So for example, I've been having a lot of anxiety right now over my beloved grandparents' health. I was having anxiety over whether it might rain on my wedding. I had anxiety as my purse was stolen from my car the other day when I stepped away from 5 minutes. I usually I'm the type to just leave my stuff all over the place, and I've been really taken care of by my angels, by my team of light. There was an awakening. There was a message that was coming through that. So it really shook me up. And I spoke with my Kalat teacher, my bridal teacher in Judaism. And she asked me, can you control your grandparents' health? No. Can you control the weather? Also no. Can you control that your purse is gone? No, even though I tried to track them down. Well, what can you control? Well, I can control my perspective, my attitude. I can choose to think better thoughts and to remain positive. I can choose to know and to trust that whatever I'm given is from above and is divinely ordained, and I can have a good attitude about whatever I'm getting, and to know that it's all a gift no matter what it is. And so what I can control right now is my attitude, and I choose for it to be good. So what about you? What can you control in your situation right now? And what can you let go of if you can't control it? The second theme I picked up on is that we are noticing right now where our energy is going and where it's been going. Where our energy is, wherever our focus is, that's what we've been feeding. So what have you been giving your attention to and inadvertently feeding? What have you been unconsciously growing with your thoughts and focus? Because remember that your energy is your currency. It's the tool brush also that you use to paint your reality. So we're also stepping into this power of realizing, oh, it's up to me to decide what I'm feeding. We're also taking back our power right now. We're starting to realize that what we're thinking is important, and we want to talk about it. And we're done censoring ourselves, and we just want to be real and genuine and see what happens with that. So it's a reclamation of our energy, and it's also a realization of where we've put it in the past and where we can move it instead. The other themes I've picked up on are some of us are desiring better boundaries, and the message is you are worthy of having boundaries. You matter, your needs matter, and I know it's hard. It's been hard for you to put down these boundaries, especially when it's with somebody you love, but it'll be better for both of you in the long run. And lastly is there might be a big and long-term decision you're considering making. Some of us have already made these decisions. These are going to be fairly serious plans. They will be fruitful, but we have to be mindful not to become too set in our ways, too rigid English, in our thinking. And we want to bring more Piscean energy into our decision making. We want to be more flowy and more heart-centered. So the challenges that we might face around the full moon weekend is overindulging. Stay away from too much alcohol, too much drugs, too much shopping, too much of anything. Also, taking too much on your plate. You don't have to say yes to everything. In fact, moderation is key. Say no, have a good balance. What's encouraged is journaling and meditation. You're going to be very in tune with your intuition and your feelings this full moon. A lot is going to come up. You can have meaningful conversations around spirituality or deeper topics. You can do shadow work and anything that heals your inner child. It's also a good time to take calculated risks, and that will show up for you in whatever way it shows up for you. Now, some journaling prompts, and then we're gonna do our card reading. Number 1, can you think of something good that you've been given your energy and attention to recently? What are some other good things you could pay attention to right now that you'd like to see more of in your life? Number 2, what are some things you might be giving energy to without realizing it? Are these things helpful or harmful to you? Number 3, is it possible for you to release them and redirect your energy to something better? Number 4, have you been critical of yourself in any way lately? And number 5, how can you be kinder to yourself and understand yourself in order to find a good balance in your relationship with you? And those will be in the description below. And now we're going to receive a message from our teams of light, from the divine beloved, from whoever is out there looking out for us. The card I pulled is number 25, Beyond the Threshold of Fear. Just that is a message for us. What is beyond the threshold of our fear? Threshold of our fear is our own self-imposed limitation, right? So let's see what Rumi says about this. After so long, you are changing your relationship to fear. No more shall it hold you in its thrall. You are becoming able to observe it, to witness it, even to have compassion rather than resistance. Instead of unconsciously sabotaging your growth and choosing to slumber in darkness, you awaken and delight in the light and sound of your divine being. Push and pull, one step forward and half a step back. So it has been for so long, and you have endured. Yes, you are winning the race, brave one, and fear is left to fizzle out. It was always a far less beautiful firework than your passionate conviction for love anyway. Better to let that dazzling firework come to light instead. Much more satisfying. Oh, what a spiritual marathon you have been running. Now the end is in sight. You are drinking the sacred waters to replenish you from your journey. The cups are pushed into your hands by encouraging angels as you approach that blessed sash marking the finish line. Your body and soul are on this journey together, and now they are ready for victory. And yes, to rest and recover from the effort. Rest now before a new adventure begins from a completely different state of being. This oracle comes with a spiritual guidance for you. You have broken through a barrier, a self-imposed barrier of fear, whether it seems to originate from within your consciousness or from an external set of circumstances that held you back from taking the steps you are now taking or just about to take. These steps may feel strange, new, uncertain, and exciting. Your mind might not have received the memo that fear-based existence is no longer in operation for you. It may need a loving, tender, reassuring, and firm update that the relationship you have with fear is now rather different. You are the witness, not the victim. Your consciousness is strong enough to hold it in compassion. You don't collapse under its weight. In fact, it is becoming less and less substantial for you. When it is there, it seems convincing that what it once appeared to be, compelling still at times perhaps, but not anywhere near as powerful as it once was. That power has been claimed by your heart instead, always. Even when I'm not sure if it's resonant with our reading, it always comes back and fully encompasses exactly what we were talking about. My loves, that's it for me today. If you enjoyed this reading, please give this video a thumbs up. Please share it with as many people as you can. Whoever you love who needs to hear something here, please share it with them because it helps our community grow, it helps the channel, and it encourages me to continue with these energy readings. I love you so much. If you want 15% off your alchemy order, use code LOVEYOU, link in the description below, and say something in the comments. Let's talk in the comments. It's been a while. I'll probably be responding to you on the way to my honeymoon. That's happening. I love you so much. Thank you for everything. Enjoy this full moon. Take it easy. You got this. Until next time, keep your vibrations way up.